Hi, everybody. Welcome to this live stream with me, Louise Eddington of Cosmic Owl Astrology, with Dabney of Lawless Astrology and Celeste Brooks of Astrology by Celeste. Did I get your title right? I did, didn't I? We just thought it'd be fun to just all gather together and just talk mostly about the crazy year ahead and what a huge year it is. But first, I'll let these two say a little bit more about themselves. Celeste, you want to go because you were here first?
Hi, everyone. I'm Celeste Brooks of Astrology by Celeste. I'm an astrologer, a coach, and an intuitive, and the host of the Celestial Insights podcast, available everywhere that helps you navigate the week. I love astrology. I teach for Kepler College, and I'm a board member for the Organization of Professional Astrology. So excited to talk with Louise and Dabney today.
Hello. I'm excited to be here with you guys. I'm Dabney from Lawless Astrology. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, and I love to talk to these ladies about politics and everything that's happening on the sky right now. So if you are joining us, please do say hello.
And if
Hi,
Celeste, oh, you can see the chat. Cool, you've got it, Celeste, as well. Awesome. We should be able to see the chat no matter where they comment. So everywhere that we are streaming. So hi, turquoise waving. It says that's weird. Anyway, so we thought we'd. Do you want to start with what a year it's been? I mean, what have been the highlights astrologically of the year for you two as we close this calendar year out?
So I would say that Pluto in Aquarius finally kicking back in has shown us things like the No Kings rallies and has been really the level of discussion about income inequality that was not on people's radar, especially in the 2024 election. People talked about affordability, but it wasn't about income inequality. And so I think in the past year, what we've seen is so many of the issues that we're really dealing with for the following years were laid bare with that Pluto in Aquarius. So that would be one of the things that has been on my radar for sure.
And what about you?
I think the South Node in Virgo and the North Node in Pisces has been fascinating to watch about. And the North Node entered Pisces conjunct Neptune. And it felt like, oh my God, we had no idea what was going to be happening. It felt so chaotic. And then when Jupiter went into Cancer, people started to get a little bit more emotional calmness when we saw the squeaky tank parade and the No Kings March and realized, this is a battle for the people against the elites, but things are going to be okay. And watching the South Node in Virgo, and Virgo is an archetype of the maiden, bring accountability, a Virgo word about the Epstein stuff, which is so deep. Goes abuse of young women, the financial malfeasance, the blackmail, the compromise. It's like incredible to be witnessing and watching what's happening on a world stage.
And for me, one of the peak periods of the year was the period of the first eclipses in March, because we had Venus and Mercury both retrograde from almost the same degrees, from Aries back into Pisces in the middle of the eclipses as well. And it's because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac and Aries is the first. I really feel we started to feel the beginning of the end and the start of the new coming in. But of course, it takes quite a while to shake out and to create the new paradigm that we're moving into. And that's probably what we're going to talk a lot about for next year. Carolyn Dawson asked, are we going to mention cryptocurrency? I have no interest in cryptocurrency. So if anybody else does, they can mention it. I don't. I think it's a scam personally. But anyway. there we go.
I don't
I'm not
know
a
a lot about it.
yeah, I'm not a financial astrologer. That said, I can't, when I see the kinds of things that are happening there, I can't help but think that it's going to end badly in some
Me
way,
too.
just given the number of people who have piled in recent years who are just trying to get rich quick.
Yeah.
So I have to be honest with you, it's not necessarily astrology. It's more
No.
my take on it. And I'm someone who's had cryptocurrency in the past, but I wouldn't purchase it now because I think it's far too
No.
overinflated, and it's headed. Here's the thing: our orange man in chief is putting a lot of bets on it, and from everything I've seen, everything he touches dies. So
And the tech bros are putting an awful lot into it as well. So, you know, and I kind of feel like their days are numbered. I hope we're right.
yeah.
So, who wants to go first with a couple of peak events coming up in 2026? There's a lot.
I can. I'm so excited, and I've been mulling forever about what is going to come up at the first eclipse. I love eclipses. I'm a Cancer moon. I'm not a Cancer moon. I'm a Cancer rising, and we're going to have on February 17th a solar eclipse in Aquarius, the sign of groups, the collective, technology, tech bros, square Uranus in Taurus. So this could be some kind of cryptocurrency thing happening. It's a new start. Solar eclipses seed things. And on February 20th, Saturn and Neptune meet in the sign of Aries. It's like a tower crumbling down. I mean, the government could say something like, we are changing some standard financially, because in the US Sibley chart, Saturn rules the second house. So something big could be coming with cryptocurrency. I have been saying I do not see how we can have the Olympics in the United States. We're in Sagittarius season, and as Neptune is stationing direct, they are saying that if you want to come here, even from our allies where you don't need a visa, now you've got to give 5 years of your social media and pay $40 and da 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 da. And they're just making the boundaries to even come into the country higher and higher and higher. How can we have the Olympic Games here? And I've been thinking that there may be some kind of announcement about that in February. All
It's
kinds
also
of things.
that
Oh, sorry.
eclipse is also on the US moon, of course, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's conjunct the US moon. Can I just tell you what else is happening that day on that eclipse? Because it's quite
Yes, please.
astounding. So Venus actually gets to 10 degrees past the sun, so officially leaves her underworld journey that she's in now on the same day, but she emerges at 8 Pisces, conjunct the North Node at 8 Pisces, and that's on the USA's series in Pisces. Also, that day, very same day, the USA is having the Chariklo return. I use the centaurs. Chariklo returns are as important to my mind as Chiron returns, which the USA has also just had. And transiting series is conjunct USA's Chiron at 20 degrees Aries that same day too. It's an enormous day. I've got it in big capitals on my list. So
Celeste, excuse me, Louise, like when you see all those, because I don't work as much with the asteroids, can you like give us the big picture of what you see, though, like Chariklo and the centaurs doing? Because I don't follow that.
Well, Chariklo is Chiron's wife. She's like a cosmic doula, really, a midwife of helping us to birth the new paradigm. But she's also like a death doula and a birth doula. She in the myth, she nursed Chiron through his wound that would not heal, of course, and her name literally means spinner of grace. And I kind of liken it to spinning a new story. I'm old enough to have had my personal Chariklo return, and And I did find it a time where I really kind of changed and stepped into a more graceful kind of aging process. So, but also Ceres is not an asteroid, but Ceres is what feeds us, what nurtures us. She's related to all things that feed us emotionally, spiritually, food as well. It could be, the farming crisis. Farmers are already saying that any help that's being offered is not helping them, and the food problem could trickle out because of the tariffs and things like that. So all that could come to a head on the eclipse reset, with the eclipse on the moon of the USA, and the moon being the people, really. So.
And it's a north node solar
Mhm.
eclipse. So the
Mhm.
north node's in Pisces. And so what's really interesting, we had 3 solar eclipses conjunct the north node in Aries. And
Mhm.
then what should be happening rhythmically is we should be having a north node eclipse in Pisces coming up, but we're not. We're skipping over it and going right to the north node still in Pisces, right to the Aquarius. And I
Mhm.
feel like the chaos, the destruction that this government wanted to like just totally remake the USA, I feel like they're being hopped over and the
Mhm.
people are going to rise up and say, hold up, wait a minute. We are a Sagittarius rising and an Aquarius moon. We are not down for this Fourth Reich BS. And I think we're
Yeah.
going to be seeing more and more pushback against these huge changes
Mhm.
where strange bedfellows are going to be made.
So yeah, it
Dabney.
really strikes me that the Saturn Neptune in Aries is happening so closely after this eclipse. It's all the same week. And when you kind of go back in time and we look at what we're dealing with now, I mean, all the astrologers, myself included, and don't even think about astrologers, just think about everybody. Everybody sees and feels that things are falling apart right now, that the wheels are coming off, that we don't have a clear direction. This has been a 40-year project of getting to where we are today with these people with Project 2025. This has been in the works for a really long time. But these people have never fully internalized that their narrow view of what our country is not popular. So they on some level know it's not popular, but I don't think they realized how unpopular it would be and how quickly it would be this unpopular.
Mhm.
And so having their Messiah figurehead failing so
Mhm.
quickly into this, what was going to be another 8-year term, I think put some acceleration on their plans because they understand what's at stake. They understand that they're losing their grip. And so everything is going to continue to collapse
Mhm.
for the next couple of months. Everything is going to be coming out in ways that people are going to be seeing things that they've never seen before. And
Mhm.
that is just in time for that Saturn Neptune. And when we have the Saturn Neptune, I'm not saying that that's going to be easy peasy, but I think it's going to be kind of like, here it is, whether that is, you know, martial law, not to scare people, or whether it is finally there is a way of getting out from under the cult mentality that we're in right now. But in the sign of Aries, there's something new coming. And I do agree with Celeste and Louise that we are a nation of rebellious, freedom loving, pioneering. This is like our mythology. So
Mhm.
we're not people that have been through thousands of years of oppression and are just going to sit back and let everything that we cherished go. And we're seeing that already with like the woman, the female mayor who was just elected in Miami. So I think there are signs that people are going to push back. But do I think that they are going to be so cornered and want to push their agenda forward faster? I do. And so that's where I feel like we're not out of the woods, but it kicks off the actual conflict of reversing the situation to some degree.
I think we're starting to see the shift though, because I just saw a headline right before we came on that the Indiana Senate Republicans voted against the redistricting.
Did they voted against it? Oh, I hadn't seen that yet. Okay, because I know it went
the
through
gerrymandering, and of course that Georgia rep swung the state as well as the Miami mayor winning. And he swung it from a +12 for Donald Trump to +20 something for him or something like that. It was crazy. Yeah.
So they're not going to be able to gerrymander their way into cheating. So they will have to have something more dramatic or drastic in order to, Laura Loomer the other day said it's going to be a bloodbath. Now, when you have somebody that entrenched and saying this is not, like, even the mouthpieces like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Laura Loomer, they're saying this isn't good. Like, you need to course correct, because the reality is 2025, these policies are not popular. But this is the power behind what we're seeing, right, transpire.
Yeah, and of course it's not just in the US. They're reaching out their tentacles, globally. They've got all these connections to all the other autocrats, and Elon Musk is talking about breaking up the EU and the European Union, all those kind of things like that. They're really trying to kind of hold on to this absolute power, but I think some of it will succeed if it gets to Supremes looking at the birthright issue. If they're not gone by then, I think it will be taken away, but that doesn't mean it can't be rewritten into the Constitution. I've thought for a long time that the USA is going to have to kind of rewrite the Constitution in some way, because it was never written for everybody. So,
yeah, that could be the birthright issue, could be related to that eclipse. Is possible, or even the next new moon is in Sagittarius at 28 degrees of Sagittarius, square Neptune. So I wouldn't be surprised if something comes up related to the birthright stuff sooner rather than later.
They'll be pushing for things to be done fast, as Dabney said, I think, don't you?
Yeah, I think we have a question about, let's see, a Sag stellium in a birth chart, just like you, Louise.
Yeah.
So
it's not that rare, but it doesn't happen that often. Venus and Mercury travel quite close to the sun, so when you've got a Sagittarius new moon, it's not that uncommon to have Venus and Mercury in the same sign or the signs next to it. But yeah, this is quite a big stellium, especially if we add in a couple of asteroids, as I do as well. My ascendant is 28 Sag too, so I'm getting that new moon right on that too. So,
and Louise, you're the one who was talking also about the galactic center, so that might be super juiced, like have some sort of bigger implications as a result of that.
Well, the galactic center, Philip Sedgwick describes it as a defragger. When you defrag your hard drive on the computer, you clear out all the rubbish and leave space for new to come in. And it's the galactic center is said to emit new knowledge from the cosmos, mind of the cosmos, whatever you want to call it. But as well, that 3-eye Atlas is closest to Earth on that new moon as well. And that was first spotted right by the galactic center in the constellation Sagittarius A. So, there's something really new.
It's at 26 Sag, right, Louise?
28.
Oh, 28.
Well, it's actually the galactic centers. The official degree right now is 27, but it's huge.
Okay.
So, it's a big bulge. So I think it kind of
Well,
yeah.
next week, the sun in Sagittarius on the
Mhm.
galactic center is going to square Saturn and Pisces. So you mentioned being a defragger. So
Mhm.
what leader is going to be defragged
Trying to get some
and put out?
Mhm.
It could be
So
sun
something
straight in
that
my eyes
comes
too.
up.
So somebody asked us to look at, I don't think we can talk much about personal charts like Jasmine Crockett. Both Celeste and Dabney do a political videos, and I do with Kathy Beale as well. We have looked at Jasmine Crockett in the past. I'm sure we'll all look at her on one of our videos. I don't think we're going to look at those charts today. Because other things I'd like to mention are, well, one thing is that we have a Venus retrograde in the actual dates next year are October the 3rd to November the 14th. And the middle of the retrograde, when when Venus is cazimi, the sun is called the Venus star point. That is actually the Venus star point return of the USA chart. So the Venus star point for the USA is at 045 Scorpio. And so, on top of having had its Pluto return, its Chiron return, its Neptune opposition, and all these other things, the US, and it's going to have Pluto on its south node in 27 as well. The USA is having its Venus star point return. But not only that, the Venus star points stay in a sign for about 110 years and move backwards slowly through the zodiac. It's the last Scorpio Venus star point in our lifetimes. We're moving then back into Libra permanently for over 100 years. So, I think I really take that as a good sign of kind of an ending and a new beginning of kind of redoing what was founded when USA became the USA. Mhm.
Ah,
Beautiful.
that's so interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, and
There's
we
so
had
much
a
going
Venus
on with
star
that.
point.
Oh, excuse
Oh,
me,
sorry.
Celeste. Go ahead.
Oh, and we had a Venus star point at 29 Libra like a
Mhm.
year or two
It
ago.
was
So
it
give me
was on October the 22nd, 2022. Mhm.
okay. And so
Mhm.
now we're going to have the last one in Scorpio, which feels like
Mhm.
people holding so much power. Maybe
Mhm.
there can be a change from
Mhm.
Scorpio to Libra to more fairness and
Mhm.
balance and justice for more.
Yeah, and also, there's always 5 stars on the Venus star. I do a Venus retrograde class if everybody wants to learn more about it, but that's obviously going to be in October. But we've also we've got an Aries Venus star at the moment, which we had in March of this year. That star point was at 2 Aries, but that's going to die out as well over the next few years, and we'll have 100 years of Pisces star as well. So Venus is exalted in Pisces, so we'll have moving from a very Martian era into a Venusian era, which, yeah, Venus has shadow as well, but I still think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I feel like with all of this change, I think we all have to just acknowledge how much we've been through
Mm-hmm.
because change
Mm-hmm.
is so hard and understand that.
Dabney's showing her chart. I'm like, I'm mutable. I'm like, oh, just roll with it, Anyway.
No, yeah, I'm super cardinal. I have a bunch of cancer. So I'm all like, this has been hard. I want my little crab shell. I want things to stay the same. And the reality is they're not going to stay the same. But if we really look and we see what has needed to change, this is all just putting out everything that's been going on under the surface in our faces. And so as challenging as next year may be in some ways, I feel like this year was harder because
Mm-hmm.
at least, I mean, maybe that is dependent upon the person, but I think there's like the constant upheaval and not knowing what's going to happen versus having a plan and taking action.
Mm-hmm.
And next year feels to me much more like taking action and having a plan.
Well, this year is a year of the 9, so there are all these endings, and a lot of people didn't have any expectation of all the endings they had. Think about anyone in the travel industry that catered to foreign tourists or something. People who own bourbon companies whose main customers were from Canada, and all of a sudden they're boycotting. I mean, that's like immediate, but we all have had these big endings. But now we're used to it and feeling the collapse. Next year being a year of the 1, this new start, things being seeded feels more like we've got a little bit of our armor on and are more ready to take on these.
Louise, that's such an interesting point that you brought up, that you have a very mutable chart. And
Mm-hmm.
I have like a almost all cardinal chart. I have a little fixed. Celeste, you've got a little bit more fixed, correct?
I've got a fair amount of fixed. I'm a Taurus with 3 planets in Taurus and 1 in Scorpio.
Yeah. And so I wonder if like how this year has landed for people has to some degree been based on their chart. The fixed people are probably really struggling a little bit like the cardinal folks. And next year will be kind of an interesting energy, maybe still a struggle for the fixed folks.
Oh, the beginning of the year, the struggle bus was really hard dealing with. The not knowing what was going to be coming was
and we really do not know what's coming next year, because none of us have yet mentioned that on January 26th, Neptune finally moves into Aries for the next few years. So February the 13th, Saturn then moves into Aries. Then April the 25th, Uranus finally moves into Gemini for the next few years. Also, June 19th, Chiron dips into Taurus. It will go back retrograde back into Aries. And in June, Jupiter will move into Leo, and the nodes change signs. But the three slow-moving planets are kind of all moving together, and they kind of reach a peak in July. From July the 6th to the 31st, they are all at 4 degrees of those signs for that whole period. Okay, and so that's also the time that the nodes shift back as well, I think, isn't it? About the same time.
Saturn retrogrades and the nodes switch signs, the north node going into Aquarius on the same day. So July 26th, something very big is coming around that time.
Well, the south node will then be on a certain person's ascendant too. Apparently.
Yes.
I don't know if it's going to make
the
it
US
that
is in a Saturn opposition. The Saturn stations opposite at 14 Aries, opposite the USA Saturn at 14 Libra. It's really big in July, and part of it will be fire somewhere.
But perhaps so, yeah. Especially because I did write about a couple of other aspects in July. The nodes moving back. The south node, before it changes signs, will conjunct fixed star Regulus, which from our perspective moved into Virgo at the end of 2011. I like that. I think because, moving into a more feminine sign as well. But at the same time as them all being at 4 degrees, on July the 29th, there's a Sun-Jupiter conjunction right on the USA's north node. And it's opposing the Moon, Pluto, and Juno.
That feels financial because it's in the 8th house. Feels very financial.
It could be, but also, nodes are, all kinds of things, aren't they? So
groups,
it could be
a group of. One thing I'm thinking that could be a big story next year is these groypers. These young men who are led by this Nick Fuentes guy, who's a piece of work, let's say, and being
apparently he's a virgin. Did you know that?
He's a 27-year-old virgin who has a lot of nasty things to say about women and people of color and all of this kind of stuff. I feel like, and he's a Leo. I think something's coming up with that energy, that these young men who have nothing going on in their lives and are nihilistic. Parents should be very aware of what's going on, what their kids are watching, if they're watching this kind of mess.
The manosphere, as they call it, right?
The manosphere is going to be a big story with Saturn, Neptune, and Aries. Absolutely.
But hopefully with that Scorpio star point finishing, I think maybe their time is done. This who calls it the power over paradigm? I think that Heather Ensworth, I first heard call it that, but I think we're moving away from this domination kind of culture. Do you think we're going to get the Epstein files out though before December, before this next new moon?
I predicted on December 10th with Neptune direct that something about the Epstein files would be coming out. And in New York, a judge is allowing the motion for something to be opened.
The grand jury files.
The grand jury files, yeah.
And so Florida's have been ordered to be released as well, and the New York ones. So, yeah.
I would keep an eye out on that new moon, because, that it does seem like this has been tied to the moon cycle in a lot of ways, like a lot of the major things transpiring, including the vote took place on, was it a full moon or a new moon? I can't remember, but
it was on the full moon, and they were given till the new moon, basically. So
to release them.
No, it was a new moon to new moon, wasn't it? Yeah,
new moon to new. It was November 19th.
Truth. Right. So one of the things, just going quickly back to July, was I have my little Sabian symbol book, and I just looked at so Neptune will be at 4 Aries, isn't that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So I just wanted to read the Sabian symbol for that was triangle with wings, awareness of higher dimension, having awareness, the essential mystery of life, that we are facets of universal consciousness, unity experiencing duality. We find zealous appetite and innocent longing to know unity again. We develop a taste for transcendent states of being, reaching up toward new dimensions of being, finding skills, loyalties, and values to rise to new consciousness. And through refinement, our impulses lead us towards self-realization. So that July, I looked at all of the 4-degree Sabian symbols, and they were all rather optimistic. And we're going to be dealing with the outer planet trine by that point. So I think there is some sense of, I'm not saying that everything's going to be easy peasy next year, but I do think we're going to be in a renewed sense, and it's almost like we're going to look back on this period of time and be like, what was that? Right? Like I that's kind of what I'm getting, like, intuitively, is that the past decade, while Neptune has been in Pisces, has been so challenging because of the rise of delusion and illusion and like confusion. And I don't know about you ladies, but I am seeing things so much clearer already. Like, just that little preview of Neptune in Aries has shown me things in my own life that needed to change. And so I feel like everybody is going to have this opportunity for increased consciousness. Now, there's a good 20% of people that are never going to get there. And we have to accept that. Yeah. But we are starting to see people question things. And I think that's going to accelerate as well.
I agree. And, to look at some of the comments, if you don't mind, before we go to you, Celeste. Yes, Celtic Seer. The 28-degree Sag one is one in a series of 6 new moons at 28 degrees, finishing with the 28-degree Pisces new moon next year. And there often is a series of new and full moons around the same degree through this time of year, but having 6 at exactly the same isn't that common. Somebody asked about, will Christine Nome be prosecuted? I don't know. We'd have to look at her chart, and I'm not going to look at personal charts. Maybe I could do that with Kathy, or you guys can do that. She may be prosecuted, but probably not right now. Who's going to prosecute her right now, right? So anyway, and what will happen to ICE? Well, I think when this regime collapses, which I think it will, all that will start to go away. But exactly when, because it's a series of events. There was somebody else who had a question about Saturn
Latinos
return.
for MAGA. I think they're already recognizing the error of their ways. Someone
Yes.
asked about that. And the Somalians for MAGA are got a wake-up call this week.
And young men apparently are also, many young men are already having a wake-up call, the ones that voted for MAGA or Trump.
Oh,
so,
lots of them are. Well, they've really damaged their futures financially. So they're realizing what they've done.
And I think that's going to be a big part of what we're dealing with is the financial realities of these destructive policies are going to suddenly come into focus. There's a lot of Piscean illusion and not telling the truth on the numbers and things like that still happening. And so I think there won't be any denying it. You're already starting to see people say this, So I think that
like A plus economy. I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
Look for anybody to be prosecuted in 2026. I think things are going to get more real for people in 2027 or 2026. And then I think in 2027, we might see some real action where it's like, how did this happen? People have woken up from the dream and now they want people's heads kind of thing. Metaphorically, I'm not claiming. So, and I don't hold out hope that anyone will be prosecuted ever here, which is an unfortunate thing to have to say.
I actually don't care. When can we stop all this? Gotta have retribution.
I think coming back together as a country and not hating on our neighbors is the ultimate goal. However, a lot of damage has been done that we're not going to necessarily going to be able to go back the way we were. We just
maybe we'll be better.
That's the point. Is let's hope we will be better, and let's hope that there is, if our current constitution is not strong enough, will people be then at least willing to vote for amendments together for our better good, for our higher, actually that would help people. So, I still predict that the Equal Rights Amendment before Pluto leaves Aquarius will actually happen. However,
well, I don't know if we'll need the amendment because we might have a whole rewrite.
A new constitution, maybe there'll be, I just spoke with Ann Ortley. She thinks the whole country is going to get broken up the way the European Union is. It's hard to know, but how does that happen without an all-out war, right? Does that happen? So
it could. Celeste was kind of, you were about to dive in, Celeste.
Oh, yes, I was. And now I can't remember what I was going to say.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm really interested to see what happens when Jupiter moves from Cancer to Leo as well, and see how that energy shows up, because it goes into Leo and then starts squaring Chiron in Taurus. So Chiron in Taurus is going to come into focus very quickly, and then opposing Pluto in Aquarius. So I feel like there's some showdown over resources, Taurus, between the people and the technology, the Pluto in Aquarius, or the wealthy, the Jupiter and Leo energy. I think that's going to be really interesting to see what happens. And it's the end of June, early July. July is a big month.
Oh, it's huge. So Jupiter moves into Leo June the 30th, but then it goes retrograde right at the end of the year on somebody's Mars.
Yeah, it could be legal consequences. Well, in February, the first eclipse is opposite the president's ascendant. It's also conjunct.
And it's opposite the point where Jupiter will go retrograde later.
Yes. So
Mhm.
this is a big eclipse in February. It's like
Oh, it's massive.
how it shows up is going to be absolutely fascinating to see how it shows
Mm.
up. Absolutely.
And I just kind of wanted to build a little bit on you doing the symbols for the 4-degree mark. 4 in numerology is in the tarot and in numerology and everything is this number of stability. If you think about tables, chairs, they've all got 4 legs to stand on. Everything's more balanced and stable. And usually it's a sign of more stability starting to come in at least. Again, none of this is just going to happen on a day. But I have real big hope for the big picture. So I don't think we're going to have all out war personally.
I think
I
that there's too many people in this country that are coming together. I mean,
Mhm.
we're definitely coming back together. If you think about
Mm.
just a year ago, we were 49-49 split of who voted. And that's just
Mhm.
the people that voted.
Mm.
You know, now depending on what you read, with approval ratings and stuff, it's 30 to 60 something. Well,
Mhm.
that's a clear delineation of having something in common. Like
Yeah.
we're all not happy. So at least we have something
Mm.
in common. And so the commonalities can then begin to build. And I'm seeing so much overlap with the progressive movement and some of the more populist MAGA who just got sort of taken in by the populist talk
Mm. Yeah.
versus the reality of what was going to happen.
And it's
yeah.
happening drip by drip. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene, I still don't like her. I would not vote for her, but she is having somewhat of an awakening over some matters. And so Boebert and Nancy Mace, and just because of the women issue to start with, I'll take it. Whatever kind of
Isn't that
makes them.
interesting though, that it
The
is the
MAGA women
Republican women
waking
that
up.
have to have the courage to come forward first? I
Mm,
mean, Massey did too. Um,
yes.
but we'll see how this spreads
Mm,
throughout 2027 or 2026.
mm,
It's funny because 2026 and 2027 are just still these kind of big years, and people are
oh.
sort of looking toward 2027, like what's going to happen. And
Mm,
almost in a way, I feel like 2026, we're going to get a glimpse of like how we're going to
mm,
put this all behind us. So
mm.
then in 2027, we're actually dealing then with the Uranus and
Recreation.
Gemini, the return, then like, AI, how,
Pluto on the south node of the USA in
right.
February 27. That's a real rebirth energy, I
Right.
think.
Like, how are we going to break up these monopolies? Like, how
Mhm,
are we, like kind of more of the, um, really the karma
mhm,
of the darkness and like fixing it. So that's the
mm.
optimistic take. I know that there are definitely astrologers who have a more pessimistic take, but
Oh, there are definitely astrologers out there, but I've always had this deep feeling that, yes, it's not gonna be easy, but I have a feeling that we're kinda gonna come through it and people are waking up. So, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
I've gotta have the hope and the positive
mhm,
outlook or else it
mhm,
just be depressing.
mhm.
And yeah, I think some good things we've already seen some good things coming. The just it's like this administration is like a comic book villain. I mean,
It
they're taking
really
away
is.
food from people. I mean, it's just absurd the things that are happening that need to
Mhm,
happen in order for people to wake up about how we've been manipulated. I think I
mhm,
remembered what I was going to say as Neptune moves through 29 degrees of Pisces into 0 Aries.
mhm,
I called it pop the balloon and the
mhm.
pixie dust that Neptune and Pisces, all of this propaganda and stuff started to
And gaslighting
burn
and
up and
yeah.
expired.
Mhm,
People
mhm.
are like, and now with it, Neptune being in Pisces again, and the president talking about the A plus 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 plus
Oh,
plus economy, where people are watching and seeing a million layoffs. I
I
mean,
know.
all of it. It's just
Young people
absurd.
can't get jobs.
People can't get jobs, and you're being told the economy is great. It's the pixie dust is expired.
Mm. I think so. Yeah. And somebody asked about having a Saturn return with that Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Well, I share my South Node is on 0 Aries, so I share that placement with you. I actually think it's lovely having a Saturn return with Neptune conjunct because it probably softens some of the hard lessons that Saturn returns can bring. They don't always, but it's a maturation. So maybe it's a real spiritual maturation, having that Saturn return with Neptune. But anyway, that's a personal question. I pulled a card for that conjunction there. Ace of Threads, which is wands. New beginning.
Oh, perfect.
For the world point.
I think we can all use a new beginning, right?
Sorry?
I think we can all use a new beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me pull from my creepy Dabney calls
she's got the creeper.
Dabney, you go first. What's your card for
I haven't pulled it yet.
Okay.
I just got a
We're
new
doing
deck
Saturn Neptune
from one of my viewers, and so I'm playing with it. I haven't played with it very much. I just got Innocence.
Well, that's very 0 Aries too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, it's called the point of creation by a lot of people, the 0 Aries. It's a world point. And yeah, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, Innocence feels like a fresh start. It feels like you can kind of put some of the baggage away and, take a deep breath and recognize, like, I don't know, the thing I'm thinking of is, like, how did we get here? Like, that's the part that I think that I keep thinking of is, like, how did we get here? And I really do think people, like, a few years from now are going to be like, wow, that was crazy. Like, what happened? How did that happen?
Celeste, you were going to say something.
So I pulled 3 cards from the World Predictions deck by Trish James about the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. And I got business tycoon offering donation so many people. So I wonder if the president's going to realize how screwed he is and throw money at us.
Oh, probably.
That would fit with the eclipse, Uranus and Taurus, square the moon of the United States people. Boom, you all get whatever $1,000.
But as well,
a donation, charity.
But of course, that Saturn-Neptune conjunction, yes, it happens on a day, but it starts a 36-year cycle. So maybe after the midterms, they start to actually tax the rich too.
And underneath it all is earthquake shakeup. Now, this could also, just be part of the story, like somebody very rich donates a lot of money, but earthquake shakeup underneath it all. Maybe there's a flip of the balance of power in the House of Representatives. That's something that could.
What were the cards again? Because that also reminds me of Epstein.
Business tycoon. Oh, it could be Epstein files. Absolutely. He had a Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Libra in his chart.
He did. And there's lots of money connections there with the other
offering donation money. So there's a big money story and so many people.
Right. Like that to me is like, that's like what's going to come out and that's going to rock the whole world because it's literally leaders from all over the world and business people and potentially judges and like, how many people have been blackmailed. And that's where he got all his money from, was blackmailing people. To stay in power. So, I mean, there's a reason.
He was a teacher, right? He was a teacher first.
There were 3 administrations that buried all of this and all of the, so keep in mind that it's a very dramatic thing if we actually saw the lists and like who was out there and that is an earthquake. Like that resets everything because everything's coming down then.
Do you know what I would love? I doubt she's woken up that much, but if Marjorie Taylor Greene read all the names out on her last day in Congress. Because she said she would read the names out.
Does she have them?
Well, I think she can get them. She spoke to the survivors, right? She met with them, right?
Yeah.
And she said she would be willing to do it because they get immunity in Congress from official immunity. That doesn't mean she won't get death threats, but anyway.
It already is. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how this shows up. I like your take on this, Dabney.
So just asking about Louise's question, like, would she do that, or what do we, what do we need to know about this? I got cow spirit. The miracles are endless.
Ooh, well,
cow, that's a Uranus and Taurus. That's financial.
Yeah.
And you got Ace of Threads. Louise,
that's like the zero Aries. Yeah, that's
pulling the thread out from the.
And also,
really
of course,
all of this stuff.
the red thread is very much about connecting the feminine everywhere. So, so I always wear a red thread. So there you go.
Yeah, and the eclipse opens a 6-month cycle, so there could be like attempted donations to people to stop the lambs from screaming at some point before August.
Well, he's trying to appease farmers already, right?
So. Well, that was yesterday. They get a $12 billion bailout for the farmers.
And they've already said it's not enough.
Said today that they were going to do $2,000 to everyone. But then, like, you read the fine print and it's only certain people. And also it's like, I thought we were supposed to be tackling the debt. Like, isn't that why, like, Doge, like, fired all those people? Like, it's all such, like, smoke and mirrors, you know?
Of course it is. It's like putting little bits of Band-Aid on things while the rich get richer. So yeah, anyway.
I think that's going to be what the big thing that we're going to be dealing with is these tech bros. I think
they are out of control and they are
Teal, Musk, all of them.
All of them. And so if anybody
your guy this week doing all this stuff in his chair, I mean, it's crazy.
And these people are not these tech geniuses that I've worked in Silicon Valley for decades. These people are cuckoo bananas. And they're not intelligent the way you think they are. They may be very intelligent in a very specific, like, coding crypto way, but they don't know anything about history. They don't know they have very low,
no emotional intelligence.
Right. No emotional. And so what happens is they really can't see the forest for the trees. Like, I know in my backyard here in Northern California, they're trying to do one of these, I don't know, freedom cities or whatever. They started buying up all this land because their vision, I don't know if everyone watching knows this, but their vision is to basically have these fiefdoms where it's run like a corporation and we're all their feudal servants who, work the land and serve the elite. And, and people.
They all follow Curtis Yarvin, who thinks we need, a king.
Right. You can learn all about these people on the Nerd Right. That's a good YouTube channel to follow.
Somebody said, who will the files? Well, there's many files.
A woman came to me.
And as Celeste said, already the grand jury files have been ordered to be released. So some of those we're going to see. We've seen the emails already. I think there's been more stuff requested from the Epstein estate as well. But the DOJ files, they have till this next new moon, the Sagittarius new moon. That's their deadline. I don't know what happens if they don't do it then, but, there's enough people on both sides who want the files released, I think. So.
So I read today, I'm curious if you ladies had read this too, that if it's toyed with or messed with, there are other people like with the Epstein estate that actually have like the unredacted or the untoyed files. So there is the ability to say, like, actually, no, that's been toyed with.
Some of the survivors' lawyers have a lot of the information. Virginia Giuffre's biographer, who wrote the book for her, she apparently has all the names locked away somewhere very safely, so I think it's going to come out somehow. I think it's just all, it might not come out just from those DOJ files. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What if Marjorie Taylor Greene was like the savior? Like, there's the miracles are endless.
I know. Well, savior of that one thing, because she's not happy. Did you watch her on 60 Minutes?
She's a Lilith archetype. She is furious.
Mm-hmm.
She's been disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
She's got death threats, herself, her son.
Mm-hmm.
She is out and she has made so many sacrifices for this man. And they have their nodes are opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So her south node in Gemini is on his north node in Gemini. And that's a karmic battle between the two of them.
And we all know she's very mouthy, so who knows?
Yeah, it's very interesting. When we looked at her chart,
She might be a Scorpio rising, in which case, God help him.
I think she's too mouthy for Scorpio
She'll be like
rising.
50 Cent. She'll be the 50 Cent of the politics.
She could be a Sag rising, because she's very, very kind of out there.
Yeah, I see fire rising.
So who knows what this new moon is doing to her? We don't know her time of birth, by the way.
Yes. Okay. Cheryl brings up, she talks about all the Virgos people who served there on Epstein Island. She says taxi drivers, waiters, staff. I have gotten a hit about a limo driver taking people to the airport. So there may be a Virgo type figure with the South Node in Virgo digging this stuff up who brings things to light.
Interesting.
Maybe Mercury retrograde in Pisces.
I love Virgo. I do want to mention one other thing that's happening next year. We always have a Mercury elemental year where Mercury retrogrades move through different signs. They're all in water next year. So February 26th to March 20th, Mercury retrograde, 22 degrees Pisces to 8 Pisces. There's that 8 Pisces where Venus and the North Node come out of the underworld. June 29th to July 23rd, so covering that hot period in July, we've got 26 Cancer to 16 Cancer. That goes over the USA's Mercury, right? So pretty much stationing retrograde on the USA's Mercury. October the 24th to November the 13th, 20 Scorpio to 5 Scorpio. 20 Scorpio was where Mercury just stationed direct, right? So
yeah, and that's about the midterms. Mercury stations direct, and so does Venus on the same day. Venus will be in Libra, Mercury in Scorpio after the midterm. So I wonder if there'll be delays related to the midterms.
Or delays on the count. Yeah, for sure.
Count.
Cool. Yeah.
I can't believe we'll already be in a midterm year.
I know. Time is flying. Time moves so much faster than it used to, it feels like.
People are already talking about who's running for president. Can we please, when we rewrite the Constitution and everything, can we please have publicly funded elections with a short election cycle? Thank you.
That Citizens United needs to go.
Oh, yeah.
ASAP.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just do away with all those things and just rewrite everything. We get about 6 weeks notice in the UK. I say we, I don't live there. I haven't lived there for many, many years now, but the elections are called and it's about, I know it's a big country. We have, they perhaps need a bit more time to go and campaign, but it's ridiculous how long it is here. As soon as we've elected one, they're talking about who's the next one.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else anybody wants to say about all of next year? Have we missed anything? I think we've talked about a lot of
I
things.
think people the next year coming out of the gate,
Mm,
I think the new moon, the energy at the beginning of the year where the sun, Venus, and Mars are all traveling together in Capricorn
mm,
gives us a lot of great energy to move forward with purpose, focus,
mhm,
planning to achieve our personal goals. And
mm.
can I promote something for a second?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lunar planning guide for
Mm,
2026 that gives you all this information about the moon cycles and the big transits. It's only $22. You can get it on astrologybyceleste.com website, support my work, and have this great resource to help you stay on track.
mm.
I'm going to take the opportunity to do this well, if that's okay.
Mhm, mhm.
I have my beginner astrology class is half off right now. So if you want to learn how to read your natal chart, that's amazing.
Somebody was asking how they learned all this stuff. You start with a beginner's course and reading books.
That's right. So for $34.50, you can learn how to read your own chart. And then I just launched my transit class, and I'm going to have
Mhm,
2 live videos with the transit class where I'm going to do people's charts and help people walk people through how to read their own transit charts. So you can get that at lawlessastrology.com.
mm. So, my turn, but to build on what Celeste said about January, on January the 6th, January the 6th, Venus and the Sun meet for their superior or exterior cazimi, with Venus on the other side of the Sun, but Mars is at 17 Capricorn. And that's harking back to a Venus retrograde star point that was at the beginning of 2020 when Russia invaded Ukraine, by the way. So, but it's, having Venus, Mars, and the Sun just all pretty much at the same degree is real power push, right? But yeah, so just
That's
build.
interesting because we
Mm,
have this whole Venezuela oil tanker
mhm.
thing that no one's really talking enough about, I don't think. Like, I was kinda trying, but I feel like no one knows what's going on.
Oh, Kathy talked about it on our video today
Did
because, of
she? Okay,
course,
I'll have to go check it out.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, well, it's all
Neptune
oil,
station.
oceans with Pisces, Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. But for me next year, I'll be running a workshop just after that Aquarius eclipse series workshop based on my book that I published on August the 12th. And then later in the year, I'll be running my Venus retrograde class, which is just amazing. I've been running it since early 2017, and it came to me in a dream, and I do all my shamanic work in it too. And since it's the last Venus star point in Scorpio, you don't want to miss it. So, but yeah, other cards, anything, or we'll call it a day. I could hang out for ages. This is so much
I
fun.
know. Thank you so
It
much
is
for
so
hosting
fun.
it.
I love talking to you ladies.
I did pull a couple of cards from the
Uh,
Witch Oracle deck. I pulled the Medicine Woman,
ooh.
and I talked about Cariclo, right? The USA having its Cariclo return because she was. Chiron is a medicine man as well as the wound, and she was his wife, so she is also a medicine woman. So the divine feminine is definitely rising, and this is the sisterhood of reciprocity. The cards are hard to see because they're very
Oh,
shiny.
that's nice.
That to me speaks of that coming together, not
Any
just
Yeah.
last
sister.
minute questions anyone has before we
Mm,
Yeah.
mhm.
all
But
right.
thank you for hanging out. I love reading
This has
comments.
been great.
It's
I want
great.
to make one more point.
Mm-hmm.
UAC
Ooh.
2026 is the largest astrology conference in the world,
Mm.
and it hasn't happened since 2018. And all three of us are speaking
I'm
for
not
UAC.
speaking.
Oh, you're not? I thought you were speaking.
I
Oh,
don't.
sorry.
I hate public speaking. I'm
But you're
running.
running an OPA peer group,
I'm running
so
an
you'll
OPA.
be there.
I'm facilitating an OPA peer group for the 3 days
At
before
UAC?
before 3 days before in
Okay.
Chicago, and then I'll be hanging out at UAC. just
Okay.
socializing.
Yeah, so come to UAC
We'll
and hang out
all
with
be
3 of us.
there September 2026. So check it out, uacastrology.com. I highly recommend anyone interested in astrology to become a member of an organization like OPA, the
OPA.
Organization of Professional Astrology, and attend a conference. UAC's a big one, but I think it's going to be fantastic.
I think it'll be fun, but I have no desire to go and speak to another bunch of other astrologers. So I'd rather just network and socialize. Thank you.
Okay. Network and socializing is fantastic.
Yeah. So I don't think there's any more questions. Somebody said, watch Montana, read corporate money in elections. They may have the antidote. Oh, I'll look into that. Oh, awesome. You want to take my Venus class. I had 125 people in it last time.
Yeah, I bet it's an amazing class.
It is. Yes, thank you, Venus. I have Venus and Neptune at the top of my chart, and Venus comes to me in dreams. So there you go.
I love that. So beautiful. Well, thank you so much, ladies. This has been wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And if you watch on the replay, put a comment in the.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. Yeah, or share it, whichever.
Yeah, share this with anyone you think will be interested.
Right.